Good evening, Canada, and any Americans that happen to watch. A few people have asked me about my take on the midterms going on in the US. What do I think about what's happening? Well, we all know that election fraud has been plaguing North America and probably other Western countries for quite some time. Obviously, our elections are electronically rigged, and it's no different in the States. Dominion voting machines, Dominion voting machines. This time over here, we just use straight internet, which is way easier to hack than the machines, which are pre-made hacked. Anyway, what's going to happen? People are saying basically, red wave or red mirage is what the Democrats are stating. It's going to be a red mirage. We're hearing from the mainstream media, the amping, they're letting us know exactly what's going to happen. And let me give you my interpretation of what I think is going to happen. And I'll give you both sides of the fence. So, if there is a red wave and Republicans sweep and win the majority of the House and Senate, then it will be a flip-flop. Just like we heard Justin Trudeau flip-flop about human rights to Ford, it will be a flip-flop of Democrats now going on and on about election fraud. They've already started talking about it again, how it's the Republicans that are going to do it. They don't even vote. We have the superpower of voting, so they couldn't possibly win unless it was rigged. And as we know, they said once Trump won, it couldn't possibly, when Trump won, it was rigged. Before Trump won, it couldn't possibly be rigged. And then after Trump ran again the second time, there is no rigging of the election. It's full integrity. It's all good. Biden won with the most votes ever, more than Obama. Obviously rigged. So Republicans win, let's say. The Democrats will say it was rigged. You might think, so what? They can say it, but look, we said it and Biden's still in. It's not the same. It's not the same. Because if the Republicans win and the Democrats cry wolf, they have, the power that they have, the evil they are, but the main thing they have is the media behind them, the leftist media. So the media will push instead of laugh when they did with Trump. It's not rigged. That's ridiculous. They carried the ball for the Democrats, making the general public believe the narrative. This time, the Democrats and the media will push how obvious it would be rigged if the Republicans won. To sum this up, so I'm not talking forever because there is a lot of minutia in there, but to sum it up, that will cause the complete destabilization of the mentality of the vote over there. Again, I know you're thinking that's already lost, but it will decimate it completely. And there will become rhetoric of civil war, or at the very least, heavy fractioning and complete loss of trust. And if there's complete loss of trust, complete, then it'll be protests, riots, the build-up to civil war. Same thing over here. So let's just say now, that's if the Republicans win. Then everyone loses. Because the Dems will take their ball and go home. Now, if the Dems win by rigging, because they can't possibly win through legal voting of people who are alive, voting once for themselves, on behalf of themselves, So, but regardless, for people that are Democratic, or leftist thinking, they won fair and square. They won the vote. And it's not going to be tonight, right? This is how they do it. There's already problems we're hearing with the machines in these key states and cities. Typical. So anyway, so the Dems win, let's say. If the Dems win, then they get to push harder their leftist, communist, fascist ideologies in the name of love and tolerance, of course. So more control, more rules, regulations, red tape, mandates, all in the name of, again, love, tolerance, and the science. And Republicans can say they cheated, just like they did before. But again, they have the media mechanism behind them. And the a lot of the courts, a lot of the justices, they have they have almost every power structure behind them. And of course, the rhino Republicans, who are corrupt anyway, will just back the voting of whatever the Democrats that offer them things behind the table to vote the way they vote. How many times does someone on the Republican side vote in the way you'd think a Democrat would? All the time, because they're rhinos, they're corrupt, just like we see here. You'd think a conservative would vote. Let's say the conservatives here in Canada would vote for no mandates, no more masks, no lockdowns, no firing of workers. But they didn't. They didn't. There was Rick Nichols over here, currently of the Ontario Party. He was the conservative and kicked out for his stance. For wanting to vote how conservatives should vote, but the conservatives that are corrupt, most of them, voted the way the Liberal NDP coalition wanted them to vote, and here we are. So, rehash, red Republicans win, Democrats cry wolf and throw all the money and media mechanism at calling it a rigged election and overturning it, causing mayhem, funding the riots of Antifa, Black Lives Matter, the peaceful, mostly peaceful protests of the Black Lives Matter movement. I think that was the highest costing of damage and death in America for protests, at least in the modern era. I haven't looked that one up. Maybe the LA riots had more death. I'm not sure. I really am not sure. Dems win, and they push forward even more this leftist agenda that is stripping us of our rights, freedoms, and ability to have bodily autonomy. You're going to flood the water with atrazine and fluoride and whatever other chemicals that sound good to the leftist ear to help us out. There's, I'm going to call it chemtrails in the air. There is a technical term, aerosolized injection, something. You can believe it or not, they're poisoning us from the air, from the water, the food. So get ready, buckle up, because whoever's going to win in the States, I see civil unrest coming first there. We'll see what happens here, but we always follow suit or carry the ball. We're currently carrying the ball for America, but they might take that ball back right now and carry it for us, either in the side of freedom, which is what we all would love. We would all love to see the Republican side win, not be corrupt, and get rid of all of this communist crap that has been brought into the West from the World Economic Forum, UN. You all know this stuff. And if not, like I said, obviously we're buckling up for everything that's coming anyway, but this is going to be like a nitrous blast to the engine. This midterm, regardless of the result, crying foul is going to be the main concern. And if it's the Dems crying foul, the media, every channel, every minute of the day and night will be pushing how bad the Republicans are and cheaters and proof, just like they had of Russiagate for Trump and everything else. Not provide the proof, but have the money behind it and the power. Anyway, that's what I think is going to happen, and we'll find out in the next couple weeks as votes somehow keep trickling in. Love y'all.